One, two, one, two, one, two, one, two. We are live 2 days in a row, actually. Big salute to the people who are popping up on Instagram as well as the people who are popping up on YouTube. We got a special episode that we're going to be doing today. More of a conversation, a roundtable conversation with a bunch of different individuals in regards to this whole incident that went down a few nights ago now over at a studio there in the West End, over there in Liberty Village or Parkdale. All right. There was 23 people arrested after 100 shots went off. There was a crazy video that surfaced on social media of the studio session itself. And, you know, it just really shook the whole city. It got a lot of people, myself included, in an uproar where we were denouncing this type of just idiot activity. And I think that right now it would be the perfect time to get a few people together and we could actually have a conversation about it. So what I was able to do is talk to a few individuals behind the scenes who are doing big things out here and who talk to people in the community. And we're going to be getting together a roundtable conversation with all those individuals. So for all the people who are on Instagram right now, pop out. We got a special YouTube live going on. If you're not aware, hit up our YouTube channel, youtube.com/We Love Hip Hop Network, and join the conversation. Now, for the people who are over here, I don't have a link in the chat because I'm waiting for a few of the participants to join the conversation. And once we have that conversation and the conversation is well running and in full steam, we will be adding a chat into the to the chat section over here and pinning it to the top, so that, you know, people from the audience can also give their opinions on the conversation. Before we get into that, big salute to YKTFV. Osama is in the building. Young Money's in the building. Down to Earth Network is in the building. Smash That Buttons one is in the building. Ready Racks. AGB the Dawn in the building. Money in the building. Stone Giant Records in the building. We got a good. Oh, Looney in the building. Jam Z in the building. We got a good live going on here. So what I will do, I'm going to present a few things here on the screen. You know what? Let me open up my YouTube page first here. Just give me a quick second and we'll open up YouTube. Okay, I got a page open. Good. All right. Yeah, Snow Giant says crazy times these days. That's a big fact. I'm going to go into my history and we'll pull up the last news story that came out of this. And this is from earlier today.
Live to police headquarters for an update on the city's latest homicide.
The public on a shooting incident that occurred on Monday, November 11th, 2024. Following Staff Superintendent Matthews' remarks, Detective Sergeant Price will update the public on a homicide that occurred this morning.
Crazy.
They will then take questions. Thank you.
A in the building.
Staff Matthews.
BLK Empress in the building.
Good morning. Today we are showcasing the 16 firearms that were seized in connection with the shooting incident that occurred just a few nights ago in downtown Toronto. On November 11th at approximately 11:15 p.m., officers were in the area of Queen Street West and Dufferin Street in relation to a male wanted for a robbery. While the officers were conducting observations, they observed a white Honda drive into a parking lot of a nearby grocery store and park. The grocery store is located directly behind 1196 Queen Street West. 3 males exited the Honda, all armed with handguns, and discharged approximately 50 rounds towards the rear of 1196 Queen Street West. At the time, there were dozens of people at that location attending a birthday party. Shortly after the shooting started, numerous individuals exited the address and returned fire. The occupants of the Honda took cover behind a nearby police vehicle, which was in fact occupied by 2 police officers. Bullets pierced through the front, back, and sides of the vehicle, narrowly missing the officers and riddling cars and surrounding buildings. Nearby officers from PSRT and 52 Division quickly attended the location, ran towards the gunfire, and apprehended numerous individuals. As a result of their quick actions, 23 people were taken into custody and 16 firearms were seized.
And just to give you guys a little bit of context, okay, and I've reviewed this obviously yesterday. I had my rant, and we went over this whole thing, this whole incident. But just to give people a quick refresher, I'll pull up the actual incident, or what happened prior to the incident, what was going on. Okay. Let's pull up the incident here. I know I got it on my personal page. Wait, is this it right here? Right here. So let's go back to the news story and continue that, and then we'll talk a little bit before our guests join the conversation here. Let's let Mr. Officer continue here.
These weapons serve as a stark reminder of the real and present danger that illegal firearms pose to our community, to innocent citizens, and to officers who bravely respond to these incidents. What makes this situation even more alarming is the context in which these firearms were found. The individuals arrested were attending a birthday party at this location. Not only were they allegedly brazenly displaying these weapons on social media, but they also brought these firearms out into our streets and engaged in reckless exchange of gunfire. It happened in a busy part of our city where countless lives were at risk. It is a miracle that no one was injured or killed. Another deeply concerning aspect of the incident is the age of those involved. These individuals.
So they did break down that it was a birthday party. For the people who are into the know of the Toronto hip hop scene, we know it was a birthday party for a Toronto rapper out here, and this is how they decided to celebrate in the studio. Let's continue.
Individuals taken into custody range in age from 16 to 30 years
No
old.
rants today, gang.
Among them was a 16-year-old male who, during the investigation, was determined to be one of the suspects wanted in a homicide. While I can't name the person under the Youth Criminal Justice Act, I can tell you that they have been charged with second-degree murder for the homicide of a 30-year-old Matthew Burgart on April 25th, 2024. As you may recall, Matthew was in a residential unit in the Long Branch and Lakeshore Boulevard West area when suspects entered and made demands for personal valuables. Matthew was present during this home invasion and was shot and killed. It should alarm all of us that the young people we took into custody are already heavily involved in serious activity and armed with high-powered firearms. All of the firearms originated from the United States. This highlights the ongoing challenge of cross-border gun trafficking and the urgent need for enhanced measures to prevent illegal firearms from entering our communities. Furthermore, it's important to note.
I'm going to ask you guys a question in the poll here about firearms and the way that they've been coming into Canada, right? Because everybody knows most of the firearms, if not all of the firearms that we get over here in Canada, are coming in from the United States. And I can speak from personal experience, maybe pre 9/11, before everything got super heavy on the security. But before that, I've been guilty of participating in bringing a couple of burners from the United States over here to Canada. So when I talk about this shit, no matter how much people want to call me federal, I'm speaking from experience. But I'll put a poll up in the chat over here, and I see what y'all think.
That 2 of the 8 individuals charged were out on bail, and the 16-year-old charged with murder was under a firearms prohibition. This speaks directly to the growing concern around our current bail system and underscores the urgent need for bail reform. When individuals who are already facing serious charges can so easily obtain firearms and continue engaging in violent criminal activity, it becomes clear that changes are needed to protect the safety of our communities. We all need to take a hard look at what's happening in our neighborhoods. The fact that young individuals.
So what they're showing right there is a videotape from somebody's window showing the gunfire.
Safety of our communities. We all need to take a hard look at what's happening in our neighborhoods. The fact that young individuals are not only in possession of these weapons, but are using them in such a brazen manner should concern every member of our community. That's why we're asking for your help. If you know of anyone who is in possession of illegal firearms, please come forward. Share what you know with us so we can take these weapons off our streets before another incident like this occurs. Together, we can make our city safer. Thank you for your time, and thank you to all the officers who continue to serve and protect our city with unwavering dedication. I'll now pass it over to Detective Sergeant Price to speak about this morning's homicide.
So there was one teen that was arrested from this gun battle, and they're saying that this person was already wanted for a Etobicoke home invasion. That's wild. Holy shit, man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, everybody, for attending this morning. I'm here to speak about Homicide 77 for 2024. Today at approximately 12:45 a.m., police received a call for a stabbing incident at the Fort York Boulevard and Dan Leckie Way area. Two men were involved in an argument inside of an apartment within that area. While I can't speak to what the argument was about, both men ultimately were stabbed each other, and officers attended and located these two individuals inside of the apartment.
Okay, so that's actually around the corner from there. Holy shit. I want to show y'all something quick fast here. Jesus Christ, our city has really gone down the drain. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna show y'all something. The Toronto homicide rate for 2024 and the increases. So right now it's saying assaults 18.818, an increase of 5.8%. Auto thefts. Holy shit. Am I looking at this number right? Holy. No. This is 18,118. Auto theft, 7,045. A 21.3% increase. Breaking and entering, 5,030. A 3.6% increase. Robbery, oh my God. Let's go to the homicide rate. They are going crazy in the city here. Statistics Canada, there we go. Let's find Toronto. And we're just waiting for our guest to pop in, so they'll soon forward. Let's find Toronto over here. Did I pass that shit? Okay, there we go. Toronto. And at the tops here, 2023. So in 2023, we had 116 homicides. I want to know what the Toronto homicides are for 2024. Why wouldn't they give me that goddamn number? Look at all of this shit. Jesus Christ. Our city is really going through a whole change. And I'm talking from the perspective of somebody who's been here since 1997. We already had a high crime rate, right? And at this point now, this shit is raised exponentially. There's got to be another video on this. Let's see. Hold on. I'm opening up this window.
Matthew was in a residential unit in the Long Branch and Lakeshore Boulevard West area when suspects entered and made demands for personal valuables. Matthew was present during this home invasion and was shot and killed. It should alarm all of us that the young people we took into custody are already heavily involved in serious activity and armed with high-powered firearms. All of the firearms originated from the United States. This highlights the ongoing challenge of cross-border gun trafficking and the urgent need for enhanced measures to prevent illegal firearms from entering our communities. Furthermore, it's important to note that 2 of the 8 individuals charged were out on bail, and the 16-year-old charged with murder was under a firearms prohibition. This speaks directly to the growing concern around our current bail system and underscores the urgent need for bail reform. When individuals who are already facing serious charges can so easily obtain firearms and continue engaging in violent criminal activity, it becomes clear that changes are needed to protect the safety of our communities. We all need to take a hard look at what's happening in our neighborhoods. The fact that young individuals are not only in possession of these weapons, but are using them in such a brazen manner should concern every member of our community. That's why we're asking for your help. If you know of anyone who is in possession of illegal firearms, please come forward. Share what you know with us.
What I'm going to do for now, while I'm waiting for our guest to pop in, I put a link in the chat for anybody who wants to join the conversation. I have a few different talking points that I wanted to get into as far as the gun violence that is going on in the city. So let me know if y'all want to join the conversation.
So we can take these weapons off our streets before another incident like this occurs. Together, we can make our city safer. Thank you for your time, and thank you to all the officers who continue to serve and protect our city with unwavering dedication. I'll now pass it over to Detective Sergeant Price to speak about this morning's homicide.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, everybody, for attending this morning. I'm here to speak about Homicide 77 for 2024. Today at approximately 12:45 a.m., police received a call.
Okay, our guest is coming up now.
At the Fort York Boulevard and Dan Leckie Way area.
Let's go for it.
Questions?
Holy, look at all them burners.
And take steps to notify next of kin before we'll be publishing any further information. Thank you very much, and I'll now take some questions.
Any questions?
Damn, they ain't got no questions? Holy.
The granular points of the investigation. I'll turn it over to Inspector Paul Krawchuk to take some of those questions.
Morning. Any questions? Did you want to, is that?
Can I ask about the 16-year-old arrested for murder or being charged with murder? Would that be directed to you?
If it's in regards to the murder
Okay.
charges, it'd be Detective Sergeant Price.
Okay, I mean, we can talk about this murder. I mean, the 16-year-old arrested related to the shootout on Queen Street, and how was he tied to this murder of this 30-year-old?
All right, so let me get a few people up in the building here. Bong. Yo, Six, look, your mic is off. Down to earth, salute.
That's what you saying, brother.
I'm here, man. I'm here.
Yo, what you saying, family? You hear me?
I can hear you nice and clear now.
Blah.
Okay, so I've been reviewing just some of the police reactions and all that type of stuff to this crazy incident that happened the other day. And just to give a quick introduction, right? We've already had Down to Earth in here multiple times. Down to Earth has a podcast and a network out here that's been doing their thing. They pop out at events, and they have a weekly show that's going on audio as well as visual. You know what I'm saying? So big salute to Sean Myrie from Down to Earth Network in the building. Also, big salute to Lil Six over here, aka Fourth Quarter T, an artist that's been in the scene for a while out here, putting in work, and also becoming a young OG to a lot of these young bucks who are coming up in the game these days. So I really thought it was important, especially after just seeing just how crazy this incident was the other night, to get a few people in here. And yo, Six, you got a couple more people that are popping up soon, no?
Yeah, a couple people. I'm just trying to tell them to pop in right now. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get the scene. We gotta get the culture. You know what I'm saying? To figure out how we can move forward. Figure out what's going on. You know?
So can I get everybody's thoughts on the incident that happened the other night, man?
Yo, you want me to start?
Whoever wants to start, man. If you want to, go ahead, Sean.
You know what? It's like insane. It's crazy because, like we're OGs and we seen how it was back in the day, but it wasn't like this, like brazen and, there's cameras around, people are watching. Like there's no thinking. You get what I mean? You shouldn't be doing nothing like that anyways, but it's like insane because back then, like even people were looking for cameras even in 97. You still have to be smart. You get what I mean? Like what they're doing is reckless and like besides the weapons, endangering people. We want a solution. I think it's easier to find a gun than a job. That's what it looks like. It's easier to find a gun than a job. And that's why these individuals, right? They carry these things to feel confident, to feel protected when they're out there in the environment. Makes them feel something because they don't have nothing. Maybe you know what I mean. Like it's easier to find a gun than a job, and it's not the same. It's just they think they're in GTA. They think they're in the video games. What they may be playing. It's not reality because look how fast the authorities caught them. Look how fast they caught them. It wasn't organized or anything. They're not thinking. They got all the weapons and they got like 23 of them. You know what I mean? I never seen this before. Like even back like 25 years ago. Yo, things was going on, but they ain't catching 25 people.
Yeah, that's a straight fact. And also just for the people who are popping in as well, I want to make sure that everybody gets their introductions. We all know Director X. Big salute to Director X who just popped into the chat over here. Also SXM. I'm going to just introduce everybody and then everybody can I'm going to give this question again. And also Concept.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the question I initially asked, and I'm going to be asking the same question to you also, Six, is just your initial thoughts on the shooting that happened the other night before we get into the deeper of the discussion. Okay, so we got the answer already from Sean Myrie. Whoever wants to go next, let me know.
Fam, who just tapped in? What was Broski's name? Down to Earth?
Down to Earth, yeah. Sean Myrie.
Yeah, no, Down to Earth. Just to piggyback off what he said, fam, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna have to be a bit of a contrarian on the situation, just because I feel like right now we're just we're just quickly blaming a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? But it's like I'm not condoning anything that went down, but like before we do blame the young gen and stuff, I feel like we gotta kind of figure out why these things are taking place and why the scene is in this type of kind of state that it's in to where the young boys feel like they have to pop out that heavy. You know what I'm saying? Like before we're gonna go around and say, oh, they're doing this, they're doing why? Like I feel like we gotta take a moment and say, yo, you know what? There was a point where all of us in here, if you're from the city, you were young. You know what I'm saying? You weren't the smartest. You probably didn't have the knowledge you had now, but I feel like when youngins are operating how they're operating, there's always a reason why. So, you know what I'm saying? I feel like before we point fingers, it's like I kind of want to dissect like why are things like this right now, and it's like how do we move forward? And you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like it'll make more sense if we address the problem before we just kind of like finger point on the issue. Because to be brutally honest, like we can say, yeah, why were they rolling like that? But I'm gonna be real, like if they weren't rolling like that, like one of them might be dead, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not like trying to justify how anyone was operating or acting, but it's like, bro, certain situations, it's kind of hard to say, don't do this, don't do that, until you're in the situation and you realize, oh, okay, I get why the man are maneuvering as such, you know. But It's a technical one. It's a very technical one. I'm gonna be
Well,
honest.
we'll definitely get to getting to maybe answering the questions of the whys and then how to move forward to maybe fixing it. But before we get to that, I just want to get everybody's initial thoughts. So whoever wants to go next, give your initial thoughts on just the shooting that happened last 2 nights ago now.
I'll go if you want. I can go. So
Yeah, man, go ahead, bro.
already is. My name is SXM. I'm trying to do a podcast. If you guys want to tap into that.
You got a
So for
heavy
the-
echo going on in the background. I don't know if you could fix that. While he's fixing his audio, I'm interested to hear what your thoughts on this are right now. SXM, fix your audio and then come back in. Director
Yeah,
X, I would love to hear your thoughts on this, man, as an OG out here.
I mean, it's rough, man. I think we got a lot of things going on here. It's wild. One, clearly there's been a massive influx of guns into the city,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because this is Canada. This ain't even America. This is Canada. I saw those clips of them kids all strapped up, all got like someone's slipping, something's going on for that much hardware to be in the city, right? That was my initial thought. Then look, it's bad, man. It's bad. We're in a bad state, and I'm really at a loss for words. I don't know how.
You
how
look
we tackle
demoralized, man.
Well, look, bro, it's bad, brother. It's bad, and this is it's really I don't know how we get this back under control because there's so much stuff when you're young. Like I'm almost 50, right? I'm 49.
Mm.
I remember being young. Oh my God, have a gun, you felt so cool, you felt so powerful, you know what I mean? There's all these issues going on about masculinity and strength and trying to, then you have music coming in from now all music, everyone's a tough guy in the music, and everyone's, you know what I mean, and this really speaks to every man at any age. You want to feel that you can defend yourself, you want to feel that you're tough, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And when you're young and feel indestructible, you'll carry the gun, and then you tell yourself a million reasons why you have to have it. Like it just gets bad. And then when we get, I think there's a discussion that not many people have about, being Canadian and trying to act tough, like trying to it's. I joke about it. There's no one more dangerous than a kid from the suburbs. You know what I'm saying? Right? When they're trying to show what Canada is essentially a big suburb to the States. So I feel there's some of this. Some of our shit is just trying to subconsciously show south the border that we're as bad as you, right? And then we don't really have discussions, and think my East African brothers can tell me about this, but I think there's a part of this where you have East African kids trying to show they're like the West, you know what I mean? Because look, West Indians and Americans and West Africans, we're all from the same place, so we all looked alike, right? And when I was growing up, the East African kids did not come around much, maybe one or two, but it was still kind of separate. Now it's all mixed in, and it's great. I love the fact that it's all one thing, but I think there still might be a discussion to have about East African kids trying to show they're part of it too.
Yeah.
So how much of this is some overcompensation because we're Canadian and we're not don't have the right, and you know what I'm saying? Like suburban kids want to be a little tougher, like their hood. Like how much of this is just people trying to show out? Then you got the good old. Then there's a conversation about to have actual traumatized kids. There's a trauma response happening. You grow up in a fucked up neighborhood. You woke up because a police raid happened at 4 o'clock in the morning, and you were afraid to go to the playground. There's all that shit going on, and then the big discussion we haven't had. These kids grew up on cell phones.
Yeah.
Like, shut up. Here's your phone. And now, if you really want to have a scary fucking time, Google screen time 2 years old damage. The way we hand phones to children has such a damaging effect on the brain. It is like the scientists say now, a child should not have a phone before 2 years old. It should never have a phone. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like, oh, no, it's damaging the brain. So there's a lot of discussions that go much deeper. There's cultural stuff. There's just masculine male stuff. Like, you go anywhere in the world, you find some young man, he wants to be a tough guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then we get into fucking whatever the fuck is happening at the border. There's a
Hold,
lot
hold,
of
hold
shit
on,
compounding.
X. I gotta, with
Yeah.
all due respect, you gotta watch the cursing because we're on YouTube.
Oh, my bad, my bad.
But it's cool,
My
man.
bad.
Keep
But
going.
also,
You're cooking. You're
I was
cooking
going
though.
on a minute. Let me give the floor to someone else. But there's a lot of thoughts going through my head.
No, thank you, man, and well said. You know what I'm saying? SXM, is your audio good now?
Yeah, is the echo gone?
It isn't, but we'll work with it, man.
It's not gone?
Oh, now it's gone. Now it's gone. Now
Okay,
you're good.
perfect. So basically what I would say about this situation is that, so the other guy that went in, I forgot your name, he's trying to like say that he was trying to say that maybe they should have it on him or people would have died. 100 shots went off. No one died. Even the police is surprised that no one even got touched.
Facts.
So all this thing about these switches, all these things about holding a bunch of ammo, what is the point of all this if you're not even going to hit your target in the first place? And it's not a debate about, it's not a conversation versus like old school versus new school, because no older head is moving like that. Like, name one time an older head is doing certain things like this, because we the older generation have ethics, they have morals, and with on certain things. Like, already back in the days, we wouldn't, even if we was legal, we wouldn't smoke in public, like right beside where kids are. Nowadays it's just normal. Yo, the kids are here, you just see a group of, even in the transit you see, that's more of a thing that the young kids are doing. And me, I'm born in 2000, so I'm part of that generation. But you can't really condone in trying to say that, oh yeah, they probably needed that. They didn't need it. They missed 100 shots, and both oppositions, like both sides, miss. They're missing. What's the point of having all these rounds and missing? There's no point of about having it on you, because already we've seen all the Reddits and all the posts, all the self snitching. We can't see that we're federal because it's on Reddit. And one thing that I would ask, I know I'm going on a little monologue. One thing that I would add is that the police did say that they're already there for an unrelated like thing. I don't believe that, because if the ops got the drop, I'm pretty sure the police got the drop too. So already it's a whole thing with self snitching. It's not a conversation with old school and new school, because if you look at even in the US, ARAB, Dark Low, all these guys will come in interviews and self snitch, and no one was condoning any of that.
Yeah.
But
Nah, fam, I think you misinterpreted what I was trying to say. What I was trying to say, to the defense of the alleged who was ever there, was Friday earlier was mentioning that, in all honesty, he was putting a lot of blame on the, I don't want to say victims, but whoever partook in the situation. But I was saying, you got to understand, with the temperature outside, if you really had your feet on earth and you grew up in any type of situation where it's like you're a victim of gang shit by proximity, you know what I'm saying? You understand that at times you could be targeted for no reason, like, you know what I'm saying? Just based off where you're from. And the sad reality for us is, if you don't protect yourself, you can end up a casualty. Like, you know what I'm saying? I have a lot of brethren that are dead just from walking through the hood. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I always think to myself, like, is someone a bad person if they say, yo, you know what? My best friend last week, he got shot in his head because he didn't have it. So maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't say you're a bad person for having that type of thought after you go through something like that. So what I was saying is, I can't really blame people or the young generation when they're thinking like this after they have 10 homies that's dead. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a bit of a tricky one. So I'm just like, we can't be so quick to blame. I feel like we got to be a bit more slower to kind of empathize and ask questions and say, all right, you know what, why do they feel like they have to step out this heavy? I'm not saying, and just because shots missed, like that's not really me justifying saying, oh, you didn't need it because shots missed, because for all we know, shots missed is because they sent a couple back. Like, I'm not justifying what happened, but I'm just saying I've seen a lot of situations, been in situations myself where it's like, bro, oftentimes when you come from the type of environment we come from, where sometimes, bro, it's literally Call of Duty outside. If you're not prepared, bro, you might lose a friend. So it's a very tricky one. It's a very tricky one, my bro.
Before I pass it over to you, and thank you, Lil Six, man. Before I pass it over to you, Concept, and big salute to Trisha A, who also popped up into the chat as well. Before I pass it on, I got to give a little bit of pushback just because these guys filmed themselves with the guns. So if their ops didn't know where they were, they knew where they were once they went on Snap or once they went on IG and seen that, or when they went on the Reddit. Whatever got to them first, they got to see where their ops exactly were. They seen the background of the studio and said, okay, let's go get them. You know what I'm saying? So this could have been prevented. But that's just my thought on the matter. Concept, I need to hear your thoughts on what happened a couple of nights ago.
Yes, sir. No, for sure. Honestly, without knowing, a lot of people involved, 6 kind of hit me. I'm traveling right now, so I got word, but the reality is this. I think we're all saying the same thing, from SXM talking about a certain level of, I'd say, etiquette that, the younger generation don't have, you know what I'm saying? Whether he's talking about smoking or whatever the case is, I think that speaks to it. And I think same to what Six is saying is that we have to take a look deeper because although, like you're saying, there's certain filming happening and all that, that's the kind of what X is saying in terms of we're in a generation where they're living online. So, that may be something that doesn't even go past their brain as this whatever, right? So I think that element doesn't necessarily mean, what we think it means. And I think the last one is the fact that people are having to move this way for whatever reason, whether they think they do, whether they feel they have to do, but it's kind of overlapping the music element and causing obviously, an extreme kind of surge and violence. Do niggas need switchies like, to that extent? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But I think ultimately, when 6 hit me, that's why I hit X and I wanted him involved because the problem is multifaceted. I mean, it's socioeconomic. So it comes down to social, right? Social creates poverty and it creates all these things that create people be able to even, afford something. Switchies or whatever the case is, right? And live in that space. But then the social part is that the mental health element, right? And I think that's why even the stuff we do with RPFC. So I have my stand organization, which is, a not-for-profit mentorship initiative, and then RPFC with Director X. We're currently piloting, a program in the youth jails that helps them tackle from a mental aspect because irrespective of what's happened, and you got to be able to pause and be like, yo, does this make sense? Whether you're actively going through it, whether it is GTA outside, that requires extreme mental kind of strategy that's not there. And what's causing is it's causing a lot of reckless behavior. So I think everybody's saying the same thing. And I'm glad that, this platform or, this conversation is happening because what needs to occur is we need to have it proactively, not reactively, right? And the people that are having conversations, there need to be people from it that are offering these real life examples, right? Whether it's, SXMN being like, I'm from this generation and I see the level of disrespect or the lack of, And I think even what X is saying in terms of the cultural differences, that's the beautiful thing about Toronto is we have so many different mixes, right? But what comes with that is trauma, right? So I think historically there has been that racial thing. You talk about West African, East African, but being an East African myself, we come from a lot of war that's happening right now still. So a lot of things are happening in the world that might invoke a lot of different things, right? So I think there's a lot of different things to be taken into consideration, but ultimately it does come down to, I remember who said it earlier, but they said the new generation or the old generation doesn't behave like that. Because we come, there's different realities that they were living in versus now. So I think it's all to be taken into consideration, but the conversation is the fact that it's causing extreme, things are getting bad, real bad, which is why even X, like I feel his sentiment. It's crazy out here right now. So it is kind of puts you in the state of being speechless.
I will give and thank you for that, brother. What I will give as a little bit of pushback for our generation, the older generation, is that there was a lot of, not as many as these days, but there was a few guys who got caught up on some heavy stuff. They got, they talked about it in their raps, ended up, getting locked up for life. And, a lot of the raps that were really popular, especially like in the early 2000s, 2000 and let's say 6 or like let's say 2002 to 2010, the long t-shirt era times, that was some gully shit, man. And all of those guys, all of us are the fathers to these young boys who are out here wilding out now, even if not directly.
No, but Friday, take it in though. You see what you just said? Remember what I had said yesterday, and that's why I have to shout out Mustafa and X, because basically FC, what they're putting together now, that's kind of addressing, like from the ground root level, how they're trying to get through to the young generation and understand their point of views, how they're thinking, and kind of calm them down and not make them as erratic. That's why when I was speaking to you yesterday, I said, fam, before we're gonna go on a finger pointing spree, I think we should hold up, ask a couple questions and whatnot. Because one day it's so crazy because the first time I even spoke to Mustafa, he was explaining everything about OpFC and what him and X are doing, and that kind of motivated me to kind of do things differently, even where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? That was a time when I was shifting kind of from a young into an older head. You know what I'm saying? So even through what they're doing at OpFC, that motivated me to kind of say, you know what? I got to connect to the younger generation on a mental level before I can kind of just say, yo, you guys are not on this, you guys are not that. And so that's why when I was saying yesterday, we got to empathize with the next gen before we kind of just point fingers. That's what I was saying. You know what I'm saying? And shout out
May I say something?
Yeah, go for it.
In regards to what X is saying, like, no filter, right? I'm gonna put this out there, and I witnessed this. What he's talking about, the North African, right? Like, you want, like, trying to prove something. We know that, like, the city is culturally influenced by Jamaicans for a long time. Let's be straight up, right? In Toronto, that everybody talks the slang, but I feel that what I see, especially in the music, right, that a lot of these individuals come from that culture of like refugee. They're coming. A lot of them are growing up in a public housing, and they do see a different environment near other environment of wealth. Because Toronto is an expensive city. It is one of the top high class cities. So when you have poverty, and they're hungry, seeing luxury. This what breeds people to want to like have things like this, like weapons, and feel like confident because that's what's cool, right? Like not going to school or getting a job. Like I'm saying, it's easier to get a weapon, it seems like, than getting a job or education, right? So there will always be excuses saying that the environment they're coming from. But back in the days, it was the same thing. A lot of people was getting murdered. You get what I mean? If I can say that word. I have two cousins what got killed in the city.
Hey, Friday.
Hey, who's this? Trish?
Yeah, it's me.
Okay, so Trish, I want your answer, but I'm also going to throw another question on top of it. Does this help promote the artist? Okay, you go ahead, Trish.
Just to go off of the previous point, because it's not like I've been saying, it's not just one sole person or people that are guilty. It's multifaceted, like they've been saying. Like also it's majorly responsible on the youth, because it's also mainly you see the youth that's going to jail, but you don't see the circumstances that the youth is living in that's causing him to do this. You don't see the lack of resources within that person's community. You don't see the lack of opportunity for that youth to get a job that's leading him to go on the streets in the first place. So you can change the youth's mind first and foremost, but it's also the responsibility of the government and the community resources that the youth is living in. Because if that youth had the opportunity to get a job, to get that money that he's been making, the same amount of money that he's been making on the streets, it would change like a whole lot of dynamics than what's going on, because these youth don't have these opportunities, and it's so sad.
Now, as far as the question before anybody else goes about this helping promote the artist, does this help promote the artist?
Friday, do you want me to give you the truth?
Yes.
Or do you want me to give the morally correct answer, fam? Because
I not here for morally correct. I'm here for the raw, honest truth.
All right, I'm gonna be real with you. You see, right now in music and media and hip hop, fam, negativity sells. For whatever reason, that's where we're at. Negativity and unruliness, it sells. So if you're an artist, the craziest part about this is, I don't think yesterday, whatever happened, they woke up and said we're gonna do that to push our music, whatever. But fam, Friday, you even gotta look at artists that you will cover their stuff. Most of the time, it's based off a back of, they have a heavy fan base off the back of either the authentic gang shit that they come from, or their trap background or whatever. Is rarely positive stuff, like, you know what I'm saying? So the sad truth is, this is the type of stuff that sells in music right now. This is where we're at. And so it's like, if this stuff is linked to an artist's name, bro, people are gonna go and click his song. They're gonna say, holy shit, let me go listen to the song again. Now any line he says about shootout or anything, it seems factual. Like that's just the sad truth. I'm not saying people should continue doing it, but it's like that's where we're at. So it's like I don't know, man.
I see Director X is ready to go. Let me hear what you got, X.
Wait.
Your mic is off. Can't hear you. 1 second. We might have to get Director X to come back in. Okay, so anybody else? Who else has something to say? Maybe something to respond to what Six was saying, or their own thoughts on the promotion of this?
What's the question? Like, why is the music like this right now?
No.
Does this help promote the artists themselves?
No, it doesn't. I don't think so. If you're trying to be commercial, no commercial gangster rapper from Toronto, for example, ever made it in America, really. It's all you're not. If you're trying to impress the market, that's not the music what's gonna be selling or going on the radio. You may see some drill rappers in America doing numbers, but they're still underground. They want to get rid of it too. They wanted to get rid of drill music itself. So if you're gonna say that type of music, no, it's not even really playing on the radio as much. You can't play that type of music everywhere. Even though that it's been changed over the years, how things get accepted. Like you got 6ix9ine saying the N-word, and people still accept it. You got things like that going on. So I don't think so. People want it, but I don't think so.
Director X, is your audio working now?
Check. Do you hear me?
Yeah, perfect. Okay, what are your thoughts?
Look, man, where are you going to do a show when the police won't let you perform? When no venue will take you? Who's going to manage you? Your boy? What happens when you try to get signed to a label? Who's going to stand next to you when you really need to be next to people in the industry? You know what I'm saying? When they're afraid you're going to get killed. I've spoken to managers who say, I can't represent these kids. I can't send someone from my team to go be around them. It's dangerous. This thing for Toronto has been happening for a long time, and no one told anybody. This thing that future you want. How are you going to cross the border? What markets are in Canada?
None.
That you're going to be able to live off of? Because if you can't leave the country, we're not America. It's not in America where you can make a living just off the country itself. If you can't cross the border, you can't do nothing. This is bad business. I mean, just on that level, the idea that no, those days are gone. Little Kim went to jail. That didn't do nothing for her career. T.I. went to jail. T.I. was starring in movies. All that went away after he went to jail. He was starring in major Hollywood productions. T.I. went to jail. All went away.
That's a fact.
There is no scenario where this works out for your career in a good way. Not one.
Anybody else have any thoughts? Thank you for that, Director X. Anybody else
No,
got any thoughts?
the same thing happened with Ja Rule and them, the whole Murder Inc., right?
Well, when they got the indictment?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of knocked them out they had to change their name to the Inc. and they were never the same.
And they're never the same, bro. This does not. If any kid out there, anybody's watching this or listening to this, thinking that there's some play in which the trouble they get into somehow is going to benefit them, that there is no example of it. You're not Tupac.
They're getting caught too. Lil Durk now. It comes back to haunt you.
Yeah, when they think they're smart. I mean, come on, man. The murder attempted, these are not little things that police are like, oh well, no, bro. And it's just because you think you did it. No, bro.
And
I got like a question, like on what people's opinion. Why do you think this kind of music has lasted the longest though in the industry? Because usually most trends go like 3 to 5 years tops, but it's like drill music shit been going on like 10 years now, right? 2014, 13, 2012. When did it come out?
Lasting, right? Because when it comes down to what X is saying, like, are labels, putting the money behind it? Is that what's charting, right? I know coming from working the label element, hip hop had its, first decline last year, right, on his 50th anniversary. So when it comes down to it, we really have to define what that looks like, right? You know, so and we have to teach the youngins like this clout online, although it might get you up from where you think it's a quick little, you know, recognition, it's not translating into bread. It's not translating into deals. It's not translating into you being able to cross over. So ultimately, if you're like, I'm going to do this indie thing because I'm going to do it my way, you're putting a lot of effort and jeopardizing a lot of freedom and a lot of slowing up money to do it independently in a very, very like chaotic space. So it doesn't make sense in any way. You
Yeah,
know,
well, even like in Canada, you can't even really do the indie thing because there's nowhere to really get paid, right? Like in the States, you could just blow up within your own region. You don't have to even be throughout the whole state.
because all of Canada's population is, you know, equivalent to
Yeah, yeah,
California.
yeah, yeah.
You have to look at the fact that we just have to compare numbers, right? And I think a lot of times when people are, you know, strategizing, they're not considering that's the fact, right? And the fact that in terms of just urban music, period, or Black music, it's still brand new because of so much culture in Canada and Toronto. It looks like it's not because we have like so much culture and there's so much activity, which is a beautiful thing. When people come in the city, they love the energy, right? But unfortunately, that doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, we have to convert it into the drill, like you're talking about that, you know, shoot up music. It's actually not what's currently popping no more.
It doesn't work.
Onto it.
You have
I
to
mean,
be like Drake, Tory Lanez, and The Weeknd.
it doesn't even have to be that. Look at the UK.
They gotta
Look
follow
at the UK, right? Even though the numbers again totally different, right? But they're able to speak to a very similar demographic, right? They have the same mixture of Caribbean, East African, South Asian, similar to Toronto. Hence why we relate so much. But they're speaking their pain. They're talking platforms like, you know, Fridays, and everybody's getting bread from BBC, and they're activating, right? Because they converted that buying power, which is there. Because we spending money on designer, we spending money on all the stuff that everybody's pushing globally. But when we create our own, we're the ones that are holding on to it. So you have to ask yourself, is it being held on to? Is it lasting so long? In which case, what does that look like? That's my question back to you.
Yo, I have a
Just to answer your question, Friday, right now, I think it suits the rappers right now, but like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, it's not gonna last that much longer, to be honest, because it suits them right now because they see, oh, my streams are going up, oh, I'm making all this money right now, oh, I have all this money to spend on all this bread, this designer, these diamonds right now. But in 5 years from now, will they still be making that same amount of money? Will that they still have that same amount of recognition? No.
And rapping and you're true said, because rap is a young man's sport. So 5 years from now, they might be touching 30 and they might not be as in demand. Before you continue, Lil Six, hold your thought and make sure to hold that question, because I want you to be able to give your question here. I just want to read through a couple of the donations, because I got to put some respect on the donations out here. You know what I'm saying? Big salute to the Squirrel Buffet. They said, and they sent a $5 donation. They said they need to open up boxing gyms in the hood. Let the youth settle their differences in the ring. Let them get the clout from knocking their ops out. There's another donation that is, let me just find that. From Peace Love. And this is a $10 donation. Big salute and thank you. Friday makes the monthly show with different people with the panel. Okay, yeah, definitely. We're going to be trying to do more of these. Lil Six.
Yeah, so yo, I just wanted to ask everyone, and I'm gonna ask a lot of questions like as like a contrarian tonight, just so we can like kind of like get to the root of understanding how to like move forward, you know, because to be honest, what I've noticed is within the United Kingdom, hip hop as an independent artist, you can monetize. You know what I'm saying? So I went to the UK and I seen a lot of independent artists come up, and they're able to really monetize their career without having to go to majors. You could do that in America as well, but in Canada, it seems impossible. So you see, when the young boys are operating how they're operating, in all honesty, when I'm talking to them, it seems like they're trying to market themselves as such artists in the States, like a Quando Rondo or a Dirk or the New York drill kids, because they see that as the only example of, yo, these guys are the closest thing that visibly looks like me that are making money doing what I'm doing. Not everyone is.
But look,
No.
yo,
Hold up. Let me just land. Not everyone is. Broski was saying they got to be Tory, Drake, or Nav. Fam, those are anomalies in terms of talent, right? So not everyone's gonna be able to like sing or maintain their pitch like Tory and Nav and stuff. So it's like the kids that are rapping now in Toronto, is it monetizable for a Toronto rapper to come up as an independent artist, as like a street rapper, let's say. Street rapper doesn't even per se mean violent, but can you monetize as a Toronto street rapper? Like in Toronto, is this possible? Because I really try to help a lot of artists, and I'm trying to like figure
So
out how we could get
let me
those
answer
to-
your question before the panel gets their answers off. I think yes, but it also depends on what your expectations of your money is yearly. If you're happy with making a few $100,000 a year, where you're able to have all your bills paid, you can get a nice little whip. You're not going to have the year of whip, but all your bills are paid. You can have a decent condo and a whip for, let's say, $200,000 to $300,000 per year off of just using your brain. Then yes, you can be an independent artist.
Okay,
But
Friday.
that's not
no Friday. Now I'm the contrary.
Hold on, let me land.
Do you
That's
know
not the
any-
cost of what these guys wear in jewelry and clothing.
Friday. Not everyone has jewels, man. Like not everyone has jewels, family.
Yeah, but the ones that want to be at a certain level, they're going to have to go to the States to be able to get that top levels where they're driving the Bentleys, the jewels, and all that other stuff. But if you just cool with $200,000 to $300,000 a year, then absolutely you can be an independent Canadian artist.
No, I'm not saying artist, fam. Hip hop, bro.
Yes, hip hop artist. Classified does it every year. He probably on a good year probably makes $1 million, but not 10 million. So it depends on what you're happy with. Anybody else got any thoughts on that? Can an artist be an independent artist over here?
No, that makes sense though. I'd rather make 100 racks a year making music than working a fucking job.
Right? Right?
Right.
And
That's
watch
why, like,
Kirsten.
even with the music video shit, I'm not making millions, but yo, I've been doing this. I'm starting my 11th year now, so it's good enough. You know, I survived, right?
Yeah. Listen, I'm not mad at it either. I'm good with, like, let's say 250,000 to maybe even 150,000 a year just off of art. I'm okay with it, but
Like Friday, would you rather make like 100 racks, or even like 80 racks a year of podcasting, or 80 racks a year at a job?
podcasting.
Exactly.
Well, in Canada, that does happen for a lot of artists who are on the radio. You get what I mean? Who went through that system like SoCan and are getting royalties versus streaming. So a lot of artists like Maestro and probably like Mishi Me, they're probably comfortable because their songs are getting played all around the world plus locally. Right? So people like that are making probably like a 40,000 a year or maybe even a 60,000 a year. I know some artists who their songs are on rotation constantly all through the year. So they get a check probably maybe in October, right? Royalty check from the radio. So for example, if you're hearing a reggae artist song play for them all through every time you go in your car through the year, 12, like, you know, they're getting a lot of royalties. They could live off of that like a job, like what Friday was saying, like, or a little bit more. They might get 60,000, maybe even 20,000, but their music is in the radio, on the radio, and they're registered with SoCan, and they're getting all the real rights, not this new streaming stuff. What's new, and you need 1 million streams to even get $4,000. You might as well work a normal job then, right? So Canada is a different market compared to America. It's more, you got to be an international artist. You got to probably stand out. That's why I said Drake, Tory Lanez, and The Weeknd. They're the biggest in the last 10 years in urban music in America for a reason, because they're different. They're not doing like what people think. Like, they've been doing trap music forever and gangster music in America forever. They don't want to hear a Canadian trying to do that. They have thousands of them. So you got to be someone who's unique coming from Canada. Like, some of the biggest rock bands are from Canada in the world. You have to look at the whole market of music. Now, with the rap stuff, it's limited. It's been a circle for a long time, from the 90s. To me, like a crabs in the bucket. That's why they call it the Screwface capital for so long. And now that hurt a lot of the young artists, because the older artists, we have to blame ourselves, didn't kind of help the young generation, educating them how to make money. Most of the older guys are sisters. They've been in America. All the artists from the 90s, maybe early 2000s, they've been traveling. No one from here has been traveling. Why? Because a lot of people have records. They don't perform in shows. I don't see no one performing on shows. since I've been doing what we do, right? We always hear this politics that they don't want to do shows because of the ops. How are you going to make money in Canada? You can't. So you have people like Black of the Dawn, you got Presser. All of those guys are laughing because they left Canada because there's no market here. And I could keep going on and on. There's a lot of examples. Ghetto Concept got big and Infinite because of America. And even Maestro, Mishi, they all got big because of America. You got to leave.
I want to get Goncept as is Goncept gone? He's already gone. Damn. Because he's somebody who works with labels and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I have another question for you guys here. And big salute to Sunny Visuals, who's also in the building over here. He's a prominent video director in the city. He's probably been around hundreds of rappers at this point, Sunny, when it comes to
lots.
Right? So you've probably seen a lot of wild activity just on your other side of the lens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Impact that this has on the city. Okay, because it's obviously the last time 100 shots went off in the city, that was over in Malton. And now maybe that was about 5 years back. And it didn't have as much rap associated with it, even though there was a little bit of rap that was associated with it. You know what I'm saying? But right now, where we are with this here, this has been talked about for the last 3 days. The news is still doing stories on it. If I go look on CP24, I will see another clip on it right now. How did this impact our city?
You mean like the music scene or like the civilization as a regular society?
Let's go with the music scene because we are.
What's the other? Your other question is what? Like, why is it more? It seems to be more music related now compared to like the one 5 years ago.
No,
like,
as far as like our music scene, right? How did this impact it? Because this is getting a lot of mainstream attention. Is it going to help or is it going to hurt?
It depends what. I think it would hurt it within the city for artists trying to do shows, but maybe outside of Canada, they might look at it like, oh, these guys are real or something. I don't know, but like, because they always think like Canada's a joke, right?
I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. This brings attention to the city because Americans eat this type of stuff up, but it's just like Sonny just said, within the city, it's definitely gonna hurt us. But in all honesty, bro, is it really changing anything though? Because fam, they weren't giving no one shows. No one was allowed to do shows before this. Like no one was really putting together any type of substantial tours where they're making real bread. So it's just like everyone was really just relying on like media and streams. So it's like, what's really, if we can't, okay, if they say no one could do a show in Toronto tomorrow, I don't think nothing really changes, bro. I'm gonna be real, like I don't know, call me crazy, but
well, yeah, it wasn't happening anyways, right?
It wasn't happening for a percentage of artists. There are a bunch of artists
like
who do shows
Friday.
in the city.
Friday. Let me give you an ultimatum right now. I feel like this is how the artists are looking at it. I feel like the artists are looking at it like, would I rather be accepted in Toronto to do my 1-2 dinky shows for $750, or would I rather get a lot of traction and buzz from the media in America and possibly get a look from academics, Say Cheese, World Star, Breakfast Club, like, you know what I'm saying? Because Friday, let's be real, no names. A lot of the guys who are keeping up badness here in music, they're getting love over there. Why? Because there's crazy stories. But the good guys who are playing it safe, no one's looking at them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I don't
it's
know,
kind of
fam.
a double-edged sword.
It's crazy, broski. Like, but that's why I say, fam, when I see the youth that moving unruly, 50 bids in the air, I understand. Because when they're playing it safe, they're playing the game right. No one's looking at them. But 50 bids in the air, everyone's talking, everyone's posting. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. I don't know, fam.
Yeah, that video is insane.
I'm gonna have to kind of disagree with that because like just recently I actually bought a ticket to his show that's coming up. Quasi was recently put on Rich the Kid's tour. So and like he's not really about that life too much. And like he was put on a tour. So I mean like if it's possible for him and he's capable of doing that, like there's no reason why any other Toronto rapper has to be put in all this messy mess and can't be put on by like a big artist by somebody. It is even an opener, like that's bringing so much more opportunity for you to be in those venues that you were turned away from. There's literally
Yeah.
no.
Nah,
Yeah.
100%. You see what you're saying? Shout out Quasi. I can see he's definitely doing his thing over there. Clearly, he has a team that's plugged in some way, some shape, some form. He works with a couple people that I'm locked in with, so I already know they're structured over there. But my real thing was speaking for like the everyday artists who are coming out of the culture that are. How do I say this? I'm talking about the everyday artists that are missing from the culture that a lot of people are benefiting off of. So like hear what I'm saying. There's a lot of people benefiting off the wild, crazy aspect in Toronto over the past couple of years, right? And the people who are really feet on earth, the artists coming up, they're doing anything literally to just get a shot, a chance, a look. And they're getting written off straight out the gate. So it's like, my thing is it possible for everyone to have a fair shot? I'm saying really no. It's really like a needle in a haystack thing. You have to have an opportunity. Like for you to get an opportunity, you have to kind of know the guy at the venue, and your cousin has to already be locked in with one of the big groups that's on. And it's like, so what if you're not like, for example?
But yo, like, oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So you see, like in London, right? Let me use London as an example. There's guys that are going on Europe-wide, England-wide, Scotland-wide, Ireland-wide tours that we've never heard of. In Toronto, the only way to get a tour is like you have to be at the prime top of your game. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, you have to have the country on lock to do a little 5 city tour? That's crazy.
Okay, so let me add something on.
The tour thing though, but you know what's the tour thing, right? Even within Canada, the problem with Canada, and this was brought up like earlier in the year, when people say Canada has no culture, right? But at the end of the day, we don't have culture, because when you think about, for example, if you think about Miami, right, Florida, what do you think about? You think about like the beach scene, right, and palm trees and stuff. When you think about New York, what do you think about? Think about like Timbs and big jackets and that type of shit. You wouldn't in the West Coast. You think about fucking lowriders.
Well, hold on, Sonny. Before you continue, no, you gotta watch the F-bombs. I'm YouTubing, man.
Oh, you can't say. Okay, my bad.
No, I just don't want to say because I need my streams monetized, brother.
Okay. So yeah, then in the West Coast, you think about like lowriders, you think about gangbang, and you think about all that type of stuff, right? But in Canada, like we don't have like regional culture. You know what I'm saying?
Canada Gooses. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, what are we gonna rap about? Like people make fun of Canada all the time. What are we gonna talk about? Like igloos and a moose, you know, a fucking a Canada geese.
Toronto's a rock city. It's always been a rock city now. You know what I mean? Like they always supported that. Like it's like racism. The hip hop, you think they really want to make people rich down here? It's like who you know. Let's be straight up. Even Friday knows that.
But so like
who you know
Six
club.
is saying though, you have a place like the UK, which is like very similar to Canada, right?
Yeah,
demographically and everything, but their music scene blows up over there, right? And
it's a different
they have
thing
a whole
though.
variety of different stuff they rap about.
But they had a music scene a long time ago, over like 80 years, because reggae music was down, for example, in England, big in the 60s already. So before even Canada, so they developed long time.
This has a music scene, period. Like they have like, you know, like the Abbey Road Studios. You have companies like Focusrite that's based out of the UK.
It's crazy, Sonny. You know why it's even crazier, Sonny?
Canada, like in the US, you got Nashville and all that, but Canada don't have anything like that. That's music oriented.
Even Jamaica
we've never
has
had
more
that
than
ever.
Even Jamaica has more foundation than Toronto.
Canada's just never been music oriented or nothing.
I just took in something.
The music. Sorry, before you go, the urban scene never had that identity. Like Down to Earth was saying, the rock scene has always had their identity. They can be themselves. They can be as Canadian white boy as they want to be, and that moves. That's marketable. But to be a super Canadian rapper, the only person that's marketable for is, to be honest, Classified.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be real with the man them,
Yeah,
and
fact.
I think I realized, like over the past couple years, I think I realized the issue, because even when I was making music, like I was always thinking to myself, like, bro, like what? How come every time I go somewhere, it's like they're always saying, nah, you Toronto, you guys are not like. Every time I go to America, they're saying, nah, you guys aren't tough enough. And when I go to UK, they're saying, nah, you guys are trying to be like us. But my thing is, I just realized, like, you see in UK, right? They have their own genres, like UK garage music. That started there, like that's their
Yeah,
own
they got like
sound.
grime music and all
They
of that
have
stuff,
grime.
right?
Only they do that. You see in New York, they have freestyle. They have New York and New Jersey. They freestyle rapping. You know what I'm saying? Bars, metaphor, similes. When we go out west, they have that West Coast. As soon as you hear a West Coast beat, you know that's, you know what I'm saying? Like no one can
Yes.
imitate that. Down south, they originated with trap music and that. But I think it's so hard for us because we don't have nothing that we could say is ours, like in terms of a sound. And I seen the argument on during the Kendrick and the Drake beat, everyone said Toronto has a sound. I think we do. We have that low pass R&B party next door type of thing. I think we own that, but it's too fresh, so we can't really kind of like stamp it yet. Because I always say this to people. I feel like, yo, in all honesty, in entertainment, I feel like we're 20 years behind New York and we're 10 years behind London. So I feel like everything we're doing now is really like foundationing who we are. But for the guys,
I
a lot
think
of the guys trying to do stuff right now, I'm sorry, like you guys are gonna take the bullets for the next generation. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right now, it's just a
But
lot of
yo, you know
sleeping and
what's
stuff.
crazy though? What's crazy is like, I think Toronto was doing better musically when we were trying to sound like the UK guys, like around 2011, 2010. But then when they all started trying to be like Chicago,
Yeah.
it didn't really do much, you know?
Facts.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys a question. Getting back to this whole incident right here, right? Because a bunch of people got locked up. And besides this incident, like just a lot of gun incidents that happen in the city, and people get locked up. And what they're trying to say right now in the news is that they're doing a lot of catch and release. Is that a thing that you guys see here? Are people getting out too quickly for
That's
a lot of
something
these
that I see
crimes?
a lot.
No, man, it's the bait they're putting out there, man. They want the streets to talk. They know what they're doing. It's a bigger thing than what we're saying, right? We might think that is crazy, but really, for those charges, endangering the public, not just that picture or the camera stuff, that's a lot of charges. The gun, each bullet, you know that. They give people a long time, 5 to 10 years now. The laws have changed. I know Canada, people said it was soft, but in the recent years, they've been getting tight on stuff. So maybe a lot of them are underage. I don't know if all of them are underage, but this is what's gonna happen. They're just putting them out there so they could see them idiots go on social media again and talk, and then after they could catch more, put them more deeper, and after then they're locked. That's what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's catch and release. At least from what I know, a lot of our local prisons, the reason that they, at least my thinking is the reason that these judges are doing this is because a majority of our prisons are full, and they try and reserve the spaces for like long-term prison jail sentences and prison sentences. Because of COVID, we had like there was an major increase in crime rates, and there's been a major increase in the past like couple years, and we don't have prisons to keep short-term stays for I guess for suspects in the jail. So a lot of it's catch and release, unfortunately, but that's just the way that Maplehurst and a lot of the London prisons and everything, that's just the way they've been for like years. And unfortunately, we're releasing these kids back into the streets when they shouldn't be because we're overfull.
No,
So
I
you're
think I think
you're
it
saying
gives
that the jails are so full that they're just starting to let people go quicker.
No, I
Yes.
think that that gives them a job. They built a super prison recently up near Mississauga, like 2-3 years ago. They have more land than ever to build many prisons like Texas. They have a super one in Mississauga or somewhere right there. It's a new, fresh one. They made it specially for the youth. So this is a job. This is money. They're making it easier for you to become a police officer now. You don't even have to do the physical like before. So they know what they're doing. There's a lot of refugees, a lot of immigrants coming in. That's what's filling up the shelters. So the government is catering to a certain population, and the population what's been here for a while, right? The youth there is the jobs for the authority. They need the judges to work and the lawyers to work, and they make money off of this.
Anybody else got any thoughts on that?
Where I think that conversation comes from is also the Canadians here, because are looking at the laws and the rules in the states where it's harder for them to get bail for anything, and the Canadians here are looking at the news and they're looking at all the guns that's been being taken and all these people who are being released on bail with crimes that are not violent, because they didn't, like, if I get stopped and I have a gun on me but I'm not planning to do anything and there's nothing that I'm doing, it's not a violent crime. So I could be, if I'm a first offender, I could be released. But in the States, they're not lenient on any of these rules. So Canadians here, so like the grandma, the auntie, the mama who's gonna be watching these things, they're gonna be looking at, okay, why this guy's getting released? And in the States, they're being taken care of. And another thing I would say is this hurts the music industry in this way, because now you're looking at the whole population. Let's be honest, we're all minorities. So we're all minorities, and you're trying to sell your music to 100 people. Out of these 100 people, maybe 2 people are going to be listening to it. And out of how many provinces now? How many different cultures and backgrounds? And now drill music already has a negative aura around it. And now this is going to add to, how is the stream going? Is going to go up? How is new people going to discover this type of music? Because back in the days, in the old school, yes, there was violence, there was this and that, but Tupac has a song called Dear Mama. There's songs that talk about different things.
There's variety in the type of tracks, right? It's variety in the type of tracks in the past.
Yeah, the variety, and also you cannot compare. That's another thing I was gonna say. You cannot compare the music scene in Canada and the States. Canada is probably it's probably one state. California is bigger than Canada. So basically, you're like in your head, you're like trying to fight in a little box, where the box is in reality way bigger. So you can't compare the reggae music scene, like Jamaican is all this, because there is a diaspora that is all in the UK, all in Canada, all over here that is already promoting and already showing love to the music. And now you have, like, for example, Compa and Zouk, because I'm Haitian. You know what I'm saying? Compa and Zouk is making waves because of the diaspora, because of all the Haitians. There's more Haitians in Canada or anywhere else than there is in Haiti. We're a little fraction. So, and also it's also the climate of, like, positivity, because, like, if it's gonna talk about, they're gonna talk bad about us on the news, then that's where the streams, the shows, how are we gonna be? We can't be doing shows if the people, the general population, the climate is already against us because of what is going on.
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say.
No, that's big facts, man.
But here's my question is, like, so like I was saying earlier, like this type of music been going on for, like, it's like the longest trend in hip hop I think I've seen. It's like 10 plus years now, right? But at least in Toronto, do you think a lot of the artists want to be making this kind of music, or is it because it's the only thing that the blogs are posting? Like, let's be honest here. Like, we have a lot of artists in Toronto, right? But if you're not making a certain type of sound, you're not getting posted. Let's be real. So as a brand new artist, let's say I'm gonna go hit the studio tomorrow. I'm an artist. I'm gonna go hit the studio tomorrow. Why am I gonna want to make another type of music and waste my time in the studio when I'm not getting posted and my stuff's not being seen?
Well, maybe you shouldn't be an artist, because why are you following trends? An artist is someone who sets them. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be in the studio.
I feel like it depends on where you're
looking.
If you're not looking in the right places, I mean, like, if you're looking at, like, blog pages like Keep Six Solid or Straight Out of Six, those blog pages, of course, if you're looking for something, you're gonna find it. If you're
I think the
looking,
only
if
I
you're
think the
looking
only
for like
one that
another page that
the
appeals
only
to
one
your
that
type
posts
of
is the
music,
only one
then
that posts is a
you're gonna
variety.
find it.
The only one that posts is a variety of music is Toronto rappers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it also depends on what your intentions are, right? If your intentions are just to get posted on the pages, and that's what your goal is as an
But
artist,
look, so even with the intentions thing though, if like yeah, if you want to get posted on those type of pages, it seems like they're only posting, that type of sound. But then if you want to go do like Junos and other type of stuff, you can't be doing that type of music because they're not going to accept it.
yeah. But what I was going to say is like it depends on what you want, right? Getting just posted on Keep Six and a few other blog pages, Six Sounds or whatever, because you got the hot drill song is a low goal to have to me. You know what I'm saying? You should be looking to get posted on the Shade Room or get posted on Academics' page or No Jumper LA or something rather than,
No,
well, what are these?
of course. But
Right?
like,
Let me
so,
land.
but
Let me
then
land.
saying like,
Let me land, brother. However, if you have bigger goals, then you're not going to worry about all these pages. And those pages will post you if you're lit. You know what I'm saying?
okay, but
Mustafa the poet doesn't make quote unquote drill music, but because he gets big accolades and people are so proud of the big moves that he makes, and it helps the blog page when they post that, then they're going to post him regardless. And you don't have to be talking about smoking ops.
no, of course, like he does.
But
Yeah, he
but
doesn't
Friday
need to
is
be doing
different.
that. But
Friday,
look,
remember,
it's
it's different.
Friday, look, what I think what like you're saying, yeah, you got to set your bar higher for where you want to get noticed, right? But let's just say you're a brand new artist. How are you gonna be noticed to the world when you can't even get noticed in your own city? But then the only way to get noticed in your own city is by making that type of music, right?
That's not the only way. The way
Okay,
to get
wait, no,
noticed in
hold
your
up, hold up.
city.
Friday, don't do
That's
that.
the only way you
Friday,
maybe know.
Friday,
No.
Friday,
The way to get
Friday,
noticed in your city is to be
Friday, do not do
creative.
that. Don't do that, Friday. Don't
So
do
why
that.
is Quasi known in the city?
Fam, I just told you, Quasi is known right now because he has a very strong machine that he's working with of people
Friday,
inside vouching for
everybody
him.
that blows up in
Come on,
Canada has a machine behind them. They
fam.
have grants, they have funding. It's
Fam,
not just
like, come
straight
on,
out of the
Friday.
mud.
Yeah, but
What?
who's applying for those funding? They're putting the people around them who is going to help them to get to these places. Okay, because they're serious about their art and their craft. They want to do it as a job. So anybody else, the drill rappers included, if they want to do that, then they're going to have to do the same. If they're not willing to, then move over.
But
Friday,
even
Friday,
though, but look,
yeah.
that guy, even though he's blowing up and he's doing his thing, we're not seeing him posted every single day like we do certain
He
other
doesn't
type
need
of
to be.
music.
He doesn't need to be. He's still doing shows without all the blogs posting him every day.
No, I know
And
that's a
and they
great
went
thing.
and they
That's a
do
great
post
thing.
him. Keep Six Solid posts him all the time.
No, he gets love, but I feel like, remember, he like I keep saying, he's situated, fam. But I'm saying, say we have a artist like Quasi, because there are many that aren't situated. Are they going to receive the same type of opportunities? Are doors going to be open to them as well? I'm saying probably not, unless they cause
Because
the ruckus.
Friday, there's
Until
plenty of
they cause
artists
the
that
ruckus. Friday,
Friday,
scroll
there's
down your page right now. Look at the last 10 artists you post. All of them have caused the ruckus.
yeah.
On my page, we can go look at it right now.
And yo,
all
Friday,
of them have caused the ruckus.
look. Friday,
Like,
I've worked like you said, I've worked with hundreds of artists over the years, right? Yo, there's artists that are making like really good music that has nothing to do with the violence, but they just have a job at like Burger King or something. They don't have the funding, to have a machine behind them, and they don't get noticed at all. There's plenty of those in Toronto.
I don't think we take artists seriously until we get the American cosign. That was the blueprint forever. It's still going on. Until you get that American cosign. You see that girl Sada, what Sada boy?
No, hold up,
Bad boy.
Friday. Let's go through the artists. Let's go through the artists because he's
Yeah,
fast
let's
now.
do that. Let's do that. Because
this.
any artist that I do post, if they're not paying for a post, for example, this is this is a promotion post.
Listen up, what?
Wow,
Right? I'm not gonna play the song for copyright reasons.
Yo,
but it's
to
a
be honest,
promotion
though,
post.
Friday. To be honest,
And
though,
he's not on
Friday.
some gangster shit.
No,
However,
but to be honest,
hold
Friday,
on. However,
your
a gangster
job.
wants to pay to post their thing on my page, then I'm gonna post their shit.
No.
However, if you got a bunch of shit just talking about smoking on the ops, I'm not just reposting that off the strength.
No, but Friday, you know why you're going to? Because your job as a journalist and you're good at your job. If you see people causing a ruckus saying what's going on here, you're gonna say, yo, this is quality news. I'm gonna post it. And
Yeah, I'll post your
I think
news, but I ain't gonna
Sonny,
post your music.
no, but you will post the music if that is relative to the madness. Friday, if I drop a track today saying we caught him at 453 3rd Street, and then you see someone was murdered at 3rd Street, you're gonna say, oh my gosh, Six is a maniac. What's going on? Like, you're gonna cover this. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes,
that's
I
what the
am gonna
artists are
cover it.
thinking.
But
No, but
however,
hear
I'm
me
not
out though,
gonna
Friday.
promote their music.
Friday, on the contrary, there are a lot of guys making women and men making beautiful music that are not coming on that type of time, and they're getting overlooked. So we're saying, how do they get to Shade Room, No Jumper, Academics, if our blogs are overlooking them because they're not causing a ruckus? It's like, what's the algorithm here? How do we go about this?
Yo,
Well,
I don't think
before you guys continue, I want to exclude myself from the R Blogs thing because I also do a podcast where I interview all of these artists, right? So I have a Double M interview on the channel. I have a Taylor G interview on the channel. I have the Quasi interview just from a few weeks ago. I have a whole bunch of people who ain't on that bullshit that people don't go and watch as much as when I'll bring one of the guys who are on the bullshit on the channel, because I bring both. But people
Of course, but you think
run
that's
to
just
those
because
ones.
those artists aren't known as much, though?
No, they're doing great. They're doing their thing. I have a Havaya Mighty interview that hasn't cracked 1,000, but I got a Double O interview that's like probably at almost at 10.
But Friday, remember, we're speaking in theory of the consumers, and even you just said it. Look, Havaya Mighty, great artist. Why is no one watching her interview? But go look at the top 10 interviews on anything. I guarantee all of these guys are.
Fam, I
they're
got
on
interviews
street
that are
cred.
in the 100,000, but these guys also have a whole bunch of bullshit surrounding them. But somebody who's bringing amazing art and doing their thing, people ain't tuning in. But I'm posting both.
But that's
I'm
because
just clearing my shit.
That's because a lot of these blog pages and stuff built their audience off the fuckery, right? So when you do
Bro, you
post like
gotta
a
stop
positive,
cursing on my stream, bro, or I'm gonna kick you off my goddamn stream.
Yo, Friday, no artist from Toronto ever became really successful off of blogs. The majority of what's been coming out the last 5 to 10 years, they all done the groundwork. They leave Toronto. Like I'm gonna bring up Tory, what he done. Drake too. They didn't like Drake when he was down here. He hardly done any shows. They all had to leave. They got the business right and they left. No one gets big off of any
Nah, but
blog page.
down to earth. I gotta be a contrarian on that, because fam, you see all the guys you're mentioning. I'm gonna be real with you, fam. That's the last generation. This is Gen Z now, where you gotta, through the phone screen, you have to be a guy before you even get a cosign over there. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, the new thing is,
who's
fam,
behind you. That's the real deal. It's who's
no, that's the new thing. So that's why we're looking at the situation how it is now, because now before you can even do a feature with a man overseas, he's looking up your IG. He's searching your name on Google, making sure you're not doing gay shit, or making sure you're not doing no fire stuff, or you never snitched on no one. You know what I'm saying? So,
how far are we going back? Because like I'm gonna put like
I'm gonna be real. You see, after Nav, you gotta be lit on the internet to blow. Like, you have to be like, the internet has to say this guy's a guy in his city.
You know what it is? I'm gonna be honest. The whole game has changed as an artist. It's content era time now. That's why people have to go on Kai Cenat's show, for example, to get their music blown, because hip hop sales have gone down in the last year or so. So imagine people from here trying to make it into that industry.
Yeah, it kind of goes back full circle to what we were saying before. People you have to leave. We have to be able to go to the United States to be able to attain that audience, because they have 10 times the audience that we do. And we also have the internet. Okay, besides social media, we have the power of the internet. Okay, I know the the algorithm doesn't favor Toronto as much, but if you're making good music and you know how to market yourself well, the algorithm will pick you up and push you to the people that you want them to get pushed to.
Facts, I agree with that, Friday, because with the TikTok age, especially nowadays, TikTok is huge and it reaches masses. Like Bossman D-Lo, his song was posted on TikTok and that's how he blew up. So like it's possible, like if you make a good song that's catchy, that the youth can adhere to, you can blow up like overnight, like no matter who you are. So it's just a matter of putting in the effort, putting in the work, and making songs that people can actually listen to, and not constantly drill music.
Yeah,
that's facts. But do you guys think it's possible to make drill music that is that people could listen to as a Toronto artist? Because bro, I'll be real, like there's Central C's a drill artist. We're listening to that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Doing
Yeah, but
R&B.
Central C's doing drill
Boston,
music about Gyal.
but Boston Richie's making drill music. People are listening to it. You know what I'm saying? Future, Thug, these guys are it's baby, and it's listenable. I'm just asking, do we think that
That's because it's
this?
not as direct though in the lyrics,
So
right?
take,
So it
That's
could
not
be,
drill.
taking what I was about
it
to
could
ask.
be more
Taking
relatable.
what I was about to ask. Can a Toronto drill artist be successful if he's not as direct to the real life situations in the city? Like, is there such thing as an acceptable drill artist in Toronto blowing up worldwide? Like, is that a thing
Well,
right now, or is it not a thing?
what's your criteria for drill music though? Like what?
All right, so it's a bit tricky because so let's just say there's an artist. He's from particular areas.
Mhm.
He's rapping about certain concepts of how he grew up and he had to do this A to Z. Maybe has some issues with them, but he's not
Mhm.
overcooking. He's not talking about anyone that.
But that's what rap's always been.
That's just gangster rap.
That's just
Okay,
gangster
let me
rap.
help you guys out with the definition of drill, and then that'll probably help move forward the conversation. There's gangster rap, talking about your upbringing, hard times. You know, you might have had shootouts in the past, jail stories, different things like that.
But
And
it's
then
more
there's
generic.
drill rap,
It's more generic.
right? And then there's drill rap, which is I'm smoking on this person. I have problems with these people directly,
Yeah.
and we're upping the score. So we're literally most of the bars are talking about death,
Yeah, you can't do that.
So
death or guns.
You can't do that. You can't do that anywhere.
You guys want to know the news of drill rap? Like in New York, they have clamped down big on it, that they banned it from like people performing, shutting down their shows. And in England, because it was big already in the UK, I'm hearing the reason a lot of them wear masks because they could really prosecute you for your words in the UK compared to like anywhere else. So a lot of them wear for that reason. Do you think it's just a style? No, they wear the mask in England, UK.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same like Australia too, right?
Yes. So when we look on them wearing masks, it's for a reason. It's not just style. So that's what's going on in America, New York, Bronx. They've been clamping down on them. They locked up some of the most famous drill rappers are all locked up. They listen to them on social media. There's the hip hop police. People forget there's something called the hip hop police in the culture. It's been around from Tupac times. That's why you seen P Diddy and all this stuff come out. There's the hip hop police, and they're down here too. So you can't do that music. They're saying it's dead already. You hear a couple people saying that drill's dead already.
Yeah, it's kind of on life support, to be honest. Okay, let me ask you a question as far as just bringing this whole thing together with this incident, because a lot of this conversation is all based around just the heinous incident that happened a few nights ago where 100 shots went off, 23 people were arrested. And, you know, it just sparked a whole gun violence conversation once again in the city, right? How do we solve it? And who's got somebody's where I'm like getting an echo in the background of myself? Somebody got to fix their background over there.
There's not one solution though. Like we've all collectively have been saying, like it takes effort on all sides. It takes effort from the youth. It takes effort from the government to put the resources in the communities, and it takes effort from our politicians and our stakeholders to implement these policies. So it's not like one shade fits all. There's one solution to the problem, and we all can be happy. I mean, like it takes funding too. It takes resources. It takes commitment from the youth. So it's a bunch of different things. It's not just one easy answer to the solution.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else got anything?
How to make the violence less?
Yeah. What do we know? How do we do this? Yeah. What do we do to solve this, man?
But
So,
I'm
like, I
not. But
think, like, if
wait, hold up.
you're
Are you asking how to stop like beef in the streets, or how do we stop like the music? What are we asking right now?
Just beefs in the streets.
So here,
How do we
this is
bring
what
it
I think.
down?
This is what
Solve it?
this is what I think. Okay, you could obviously never stop any beef in the street. New problems is gonna occur every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's just life. That's how life works. But if you're trying to relate it more to the music, like I said, you gotta, blog pages, all these different outlets need to stop promoting that specific sound, because then not only is obviously the problem is in the streets. we get that. But now when you're promoting it right through the music, now you just got embarrassed to the whole rest of the world because now it just got made super public. You know what I'm trying to say?
Mm.
So now it's not just the street anymore that everybody knows about the issue or whatever. And that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of the blogs love to preach this stop the violence stuff, but then they keep antagonizing it by promoting the music. And yeah, the artist is making the music, but as I said earlier, if nothing else is really getting promoted, like other sounds is not really getting promoted. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yeah.
Because look, you had like look in the early 2000s, like with G Unit and all of them. They allegedly had all their ongoing beefs back then, but look at the type of sound they were making. They were still making like radio hits.
Yeah.
So you could do both, right?
Yeah, you're not wrong about that, man. Anybody else got any thoughts on that?
I think education. A lot of them need to be educated about like separate the music from the streets because it's a business. It's called music business, and
Exactly.
a lot of things out there are real. But you gotta make like the little children who are coming up that this is music. It's like a movie. Are you gonna go do exactly what you see in a movie? Because they used to compare the movies and the hip hop, saying like hip hop is causing the violence, and then we were saying, what about an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, right? The video games, all these stuff. Like the youth have more things to see more than ever. They got YouTube, they got Twitter and all of that. So it's just education about where this is going to lead you to. Are you going to be successful? Live in that energy, live in that lifestyle, like you're trying to be a thug or a gangster. When you go to prison, or your first charge, are you going to be able to get a job? Because that's how they get you. Now it's hard for you to get a job. So now what you want to do, be a basketball player, so you try to play basketball and try to get further than you can out of the situation, because that's a stereotype. Hip hop, sports, and that's it. They're limited. No one's telling people they could be a lawyer. No one's telling people that they could be a judge, or they could be a policeman, even though a lot of people don't like that, so they could serve their community. So this is what's going on. Education is needed, man.
Yeah, yeah.
We have time for one more?
No, keep going. And sorry, did you have were you gonna hit with another question, Six, or?
Oh no, I was gonna chime in on that last
Yeah, go for it.
we heard. I was gonna say, like,
and then Trish, you right after.
I'm gonna be real. I think the change is gonna start. I've been preaching this for years. I'm gonna say the change is gonna start from the people at the top with the resources and the financial backing to actually inflict a change within a large group of people. So like, by that I mean, so whoever has access to certain things like funding, or whoever is in a position to kind of enlighten people on different things within the scene, because to be honest, I always tell this to the young people in my ends. I say, yo, we can't all be rappers, bro. But to be brutally honest, we don't champion anything else. So it's like, that's why I have to respect right now the scene in Twitch and content creation, because you have kids from the inner city New York like Kai Cenat and all his homies. They're doing stuff like Twitch, and it's not being deemed as goofy. Or in Toronto, anyone does Twitch, they're gonna say you're a waste. But it's like, we haven't seen any examples of like success here, or anyone saying, you know what, look at these guys, big them up, they're doing Twitch. I've never seen a Toronto Twitch streamer get bigged up on any platform. First guy probably do it was Friday. He brought on a content creator the other day. But we don't really see that every day, unless it's maybe K Showtime slapping people in the head when he's playing ball. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
big salute to your true captain who came through. He's one of the few content creators from out here, but the ones that do come from out here, they get hella successful. Salute to him. Salute to Agent Double O. Like, a lot more guys should be trying to get into that.
Yeah, but take it in, Friday. My thing is there any way for youngins coming up to say, like, how do we show them there's other stuff to do other than being a drill rapper was getting the most coverage? Because they're gonna look on their phone and see, all right, the only guys getting love are guys rapping about their beef. Well, how am I gonna get love? It's a simple equation, to it.
You mean like how to get them to change the type of music they're making?
Not even type of music, but like how to get them to say, like, all right, you know what? Instead of coming out on violence, what else can I do? Fam, right now, to be honest, me personally, I'm trying to get a lot of kids in my ends in the Grand Ravine area, Oakdale area, to get into TV and film. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a big advocate right now on like, how are we gonna tell our stories without snitching on each other? And I think TV and film is good because we have a lot of young characters in the ends. You know what I'm saying? That can they don't even know they can be content creators or Twitch streamers or actors because they've never explored that type of stuff. But I'm trying to introduce them to these type of things to say like, bro, we don't all have to rap and snitch ourselves. It's not the only way we can get noticed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we have to implement these type of kind of spaces to make them say, all right, you know what? Let me see what else I'm good at. Because I'll tell you right now, bro, there's a lot of characters in the city. We have hilarious people here. You know what I'm saying? We have Africans here. We have Caribbean people. We have Arab people. We're the funniest. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how do we let
what
people express themselves in different ways?
to go with what Six and down to Earth are is saying, first I'll address Six. The answer to your question is collaborating with people in your community. So collaborating with Friday, since he runs a podcast and he has access to certain resources in the community. It's collaborating with different community members or community support workers or people in your local community center that can take in the youth and run workshops for the youth. So I mean, that's an answer to that question. And to go with Down to Earth was saying with like education, I mean, there's not really a simple answer to that question because the educators are kind of like honestly the teachers in the schools are constantly run down. Like we don't have like support for the teachers that we used to have, so the teachers aren't really putting as much effort into the youth, unfortunately, like they used to do when I was a kid.
I'm not talking
And
about the teachers.
it's really sad, but they're not doing it because they're not being paid to do it.
talking
Or they're not
about teachers.
hiring enough skilled teachers like they used to do when I was a kid. So it's really sad.
You can't depend on the teachers. Like not everybody have perfect parents, but it should start at home first. Then you look on the system of education because it's not perfect, as well as your parents might not be perfect. But you gotta.
But by education, what do you mean exactly?
Like you see how people go on to their phones and they go on social media the same way you look into a rapper or a hip or a basketball player. You could do your research. If you like business, if you want to be a lawyer, if you want to be a doctor, you can do that. Even if social media is sometimes negative, it could be a positive, right? And if not that, maybe your parents, you could ask them questions about how they grew up and the education they got. If you're lucky enough to have both of your parents, if you don't, then maybe you have an uncle someone who has experience. It's good to go with someone who has experience. A teacher, you have experience. They went to some institution to get education, but the sometimes the best experience is grassroots people who've been in the streets, maybe in the prison system, and they could give you an example of how it's going to go because they've been there and done that, right? There's many people out there like that. Community centers, you could go to maybe a counselor. There's all types of people. It could keep going. You go to maybe a Tim Hortons, even though you see someone working at Tim Hortons, you could ask them, how did they get that job? Right? Maybe you don't have a job, but you could maybe, every time you go somewhere to purchase something because you eat, you could ask the place, the establishment, how to sign up an application or the site where I could go on to my phone and make an application. And that could help you when you have economics in your life as a young person.
So to go with what you're saying, then it's not just education then. So it's not just reading books. It's collaborating with people in the community and to figure out how exactly they got to these positions and to educate the youth, to encourage the youth to go out into the community and find these different resources and to point them into these different resources. What I've been saying is like, we currently don't have the structure to encourage the youth. And it's really sad. Like we don't have the structure to encourage them to go out to these communities, to collaborate with these people and to encourage them to be better. Because honestly, Ford made cuts and a lot of the programs and resources we used to have, we don't have them anymore.
It's crazy.
Can I stop you right there? Where are you saying that we don't have the resources in
Hold on, one at a time.
Before you go, SFN,
Six go and then US.
You see, Trish, what you just said, fam, it's so crazy because everything you said is facts, but like when we actually try to practice this stuff, it's crazy. I'll give you a direct example. So you said collaborate, and it's crazy because when I first started making music, I would consider that good music. I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't really the type of guy to talk about my problems on the thing too much. I was making good music. And then Friday had actually reached out, hit me up, said, yo, Youngblood, I see you going crazy. I see you have their project coming. I got the platform for you. Pull up. And shout out, bro. So that it's crazy because so we collaborated on that level. But then, so the next part, so you see, and I say that to say, Friday is a guy that he really has his feet on earth in this community that we come from. So he understood the importance of that. He brought me in. But then watch this, Trish. So I try to do something similar in my area. I try to do like little community outreach because, you know what I'm saying? I know what the kids are going through is stressful. Their friends are dying. They're going to jail, wooty woo. So I try to do something simple for the kids one year, like a end of year barbecue, right? So I posted it in my hands. I bought the chicken, everything, barbecue. I said, listen, I posted on my end of school barbecue. All the youngins pull up. You know who the first person to message me was? Friday. Guess who the first person to message me was?
Who?
NHSBK. The man said, yo, broski, mod, fam, you're a real one for this, broski. What time? I'll even come help you set it up, fam.
Nice.
So listen, you want to know the crazy part about that barbecue? I had went to counselors' offices. I had went to everyone trying to get funding. I was going in and trying to say like, hey, we want to put together event for a couple of the youngins in the area because a couple of youngins died that year, like 15-year-old, 16-year-old. So I'm like, they're going through traumatic experience. We need to do some community togetherness projects, you know what I'm saying, just for healing, because everyone knows summertime is crazy as a teenager. You're outside, it's target practice for you if you're not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So boom, we had that event. No one wanted to help. I was walking into counselor's office, they're literally laughing me out of there, saying like, bro, why are you asking us for that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, damn, that's the moment I realized we're alone. And it's crazy because that's when I took a vow to kind of do more community outreach myself in my hands. And it's crazy because Trish, you're saying like build relationships and take the time and go and meet people and do this. But fam, the sad reality is we don't have time, because you know what happened in that next year? I took too long to kind of lay a foundation to bring the kids in and do resourcefulness. And over the next year, BK gets arrested for attempted murder. And then JJ, NHS JJ, he dies. He gets shot. He gets, like, you know what I'm saying? God bless his soul. But it's like, if we wait too long, people keep dying and keep getting arrested. So it's like, clearly they're not lending no helping hands to us. So it's like, what do we do? Like right now it's a big emergency, and it's like, that's why I'm saying I'm really calling on action to people that are in the position right now. Like we really have to start leaning on them and saying, bro, like what's going on? Like, you know what I'm saying? Not even on like a Houston mob ties type thing, but we have to start pressuring people. Because
Well,
we're doing the
like,
nice guy thing and no one's answering the door.
I
So
mean,
we might
like,
have to start booting down doors. Like, you know what I'm saying?
fortunately, like I'm in a position now where I'm able to use certain resources from my community, because like I was a formal social worker. I've been a social worker for like 10 years. I'm reformed now. I work in the social justice system now, but I still have connects from when I was a social worker. So I mean, like I said, it's collaborating. You never know who you're talking to or who you're speaking to. So I mean, like I still have knowledge in the communities, and I still have resources in the community, so I can reach out to people. So I mean, if anything, like we can collaborate at the end of the show, and like I can DM you or you can DM me, and we can figure out something, because like it takes so much effort in all our parts, and it's not waking up tomorrow morning and saying, oh, she DM'd me, let's just ignore it, because like you said, the next day somebody else can die. So I mean,
Oh,
it
facts,
takes
facts.
effort and
Facts.
persistence and not just turning your phone away or forgetting in a week or two, or getting caught up in your own life, because I have a life too. We all get caught up in our lives, but we have to make the effort to actually put like 10 minutes outside of your day towards the youth, because they don't have 10 minutes and they could be gone the next day.
Yeah.
No,
Time is
facts.
of the
Like even
essence.
even Trish, when I was saying that, I wasn't even trying to like fire back at you. I was just like telling you like just like you know, like just like showing you like the temperature outside, like, you know, showing you like how crazy it is, because everything you said just made sense. But it's like when we really try to go in and kind of like present stuff, it's like we get laughed out of the door sometimes, and it's like, damn, like you guys are laughing us out of that, and we really need the help. It's like, damn, bro, hold on.
I want SXM to be able to get his point across too. You were
Friday,
saying something?
before the chat ends, link me with Trish. I got to show her what
Most definitely. I got y'all behind the scenes.
That's it.
SXM, you have some thoughts on
So
this?
one thing I wanted to add is already like drill has like social context into it because you can't be rapping like drill already is about like you're rapping about certain things. So without that, it's not drill anymore. That's why there's gangster rap. That's why there's different music genres. So what we can do to change this and all this type of scene is change the consumer mindset, which is something that is very impossible to do. Talk to the youth, like why you need to carry this gun, like why you need to do certain things, so we can understand. Like, well, so you guys, because I'm part of that generation. So you guys, so the older people or people who are not in that scene, so they can understand why the youths are moving like this. And then also we can see that social media with all the promotion, obviously the social media, like in social media, they're gonna promote the bad things. That's something that even Meta and all these big giants in social media are like in trouble for, because they're actively promoting negative things that they know is gonna like touch you, and they want you to comment on it. And now another thing I would add is also like, you know, the blog. You can't really be mad at the blogs because the blogs need to get that, like, you know, they need to get that social print going.
They need
So
traction.
obviously they're gonna be posting these things. And now the next thing is who's really down to change this. Name one artist who's really down to come and change this whole culture. Lil Durk tried to do it, but now look at him.
Fam, but
And we
Dirk,
need mentorship. That's another
Dirk
thing
one.
we need is
I'll
mentorship.
say the Dirk one is fucked though, cause fam, you can't be like dirtying. You can't be dirtying a room for 11 years and then start cleaning for a month and say, yeah, I'm good. Like, come on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That one's technical. That one's very technical.
One way
one
to
thing,
change this is
and sorry, is that brown guy made it in there?
Yeah. I wanted to chime in, but I didn't want to like overstep and overtalk
No,
on
no, no.
this one.
I want to get your opinions on this, man. And Brown Guy Made It is another prominent video director in the city. One thing I want to say about you before you give your opinion is you've done a lot of music videos in the past, and then you changed your lane and you started making a strict policy of no oppie type shit
Yes,
for
sir.
if you want to do a music video with you, right?
Yes,
So I just
sir.
want to make sure that I
Could
make
I
that
just
point.
could I say one more thing quickly?
Yeah, go for it.
So just like the last guy was saying, he was saying, oh, but you can't blame the blogs because they still need their traction, whatever, right? But then you have to look at it like, so then what do you prioritize? Are you trying to prioritize your traction, or do you really believe in, you know, stopping the violence and promoting better music? Because just like you were saying with Brown Guy, I did the same thing. I stopped shooting that type of music because I don't believe in it anymore, right?
Facts.
And I don't want a music video I shot to lead to, you know, somebody else dying. And now,
Facts.
not that it has anything to do with me, but I would, you know, you still feel part of it in a way, right? Because
Facts.
it's like I took a pay cut because I don't believe in the violence. So why is the blogs not doing the same thing? And they're preaching, you know, stop the
And
violence, stop the violence. But then
Facts. Facts.
they're
and that's
posting the
where I go
same.
back.
They're posting the same thing the next day.
That's where I go back to who's willing to do this change. Yes, you were willing to do this. You're willing to take that pay cut because of your own convictions.
Like a
Just
lot
like
of
the
people
same like the
probably think I
streamer,
stopped shooting
the
videos
streamer
altogether, right? But
stop posting certain things because he believed like now he's want to be a Christian. He's changing himself. That's the work that we need to do each in our own backyard. But now the problem is that the youngins don't have the mentorship. They don't have. It's all about mentorship, and also they don't have the good mentors.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this is where I wanted to chime in, was about the youth, the music stuff and all that. That's personally, I don't think it's gonna change. If it does change, it's gonna take Godzilla coming in here and kicking people. But anyways, about the kids, the only way that the youth are going to not become a product of their environment is one, the blogs. Blogs gotta stop posting this bullshit. Sorry for swearing, Friday. My bad.
No, that's
Blogs
cool.
gotta
Go ahead.
stop. Blogs gotta stop posting this crap. I owned one of the top popular hip hop blogs in Canada for years. called What the Hype. We never once posted any negative stuff that happened in the city. Never posted when, unfortunately artists passed away. We'd post rest in peace, but we wouldn't post the videos that were sent to us and this and that. Right? Blogs are a huge narrative, and unfortunately the youth are hooked on their phones. So they're watching this. The only way that we're gonna change the way that the youth look at the world and go down a different path is if us as adults
Because they think that's the only
show
way they
them.
could catch some fame, right?
Exactly. Look, I'll say this straight up, right? I shoot a lot of music videos, and I used to shoot a lot of music videos in the hood, right? I shot quite a few videos in Pelham and this and that. So Pelham, I was there one day shooting a music video for Blacka, right? And there was this one kid, he must have been like 8, 9 years old. And he wasn't acting like, the greatest kid in the world, but he seen me with the camera and his eyes went straight to the camera. And he was interested in what was going on. So my first instinct was, okay, yo, come here for a second. I'm like, you like the camera? He's like, yeah. So I'm like, okay, yo, here, take the camera. I'm gonna hold it with you, and we're gonna film the scene together. Bro, this kid has changed overnight. This kid wants to do music. He wants to be in music videos. You know what I mean? That little tiny piece of positive influence possibly changed that kid's whole trajectory. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
us, we have to be out here promoting this shit. We have to be literally in doing the groundwork. Right now, I work with a guy by the name of Peter Talias, who has this organization called I Can We Can, where he promotes positive goal setting and goal books for the youth. So we go to different hoods and we do these little community events. And, he speaks to the police and tries to show the police how they can go into communities and treat the communities better. We're trying to do a whole school tour right now where we show the youth what's going on and how to choose the right from wrong path and how to set these positive goals, right? That's all it's about. We have to get into their minds,
But
right?
it's a fight. It's a fight.
It's a
because,
huge fight.
We do that from time, and I seen the atmosphere. It's like good and evil fighting, man. You won't believe the stuff.
100%.
The stuff I seen and what I heard, messages and this negativity is like demonic. They worship it in Toronto. So when we speak against it, because down to earth we speak against this and we know all about it. We're like
100%.
we're the outsiders, because
Look,
I'm gonna be straight up. If I was to name names, a lot of people are guilty. A lot of these blog pages are guilty, and I hit them for it too. People see it. I lick. I hit out against a lot of them who's promoting this stuff for a reason, because there's a limited few like me, because I'm on I don't care, raw and unfiltered. I'm going to give you the real. And if you're saying peace on Keep Six or whoever, and after then you're promoting this next man throwing out guns, you're giving a wrong message to the youth, straight up. And we don't do that. You might, if it's a movie, that's you can know real from fake.
So let me ask you guys a question, and I put a question also in the poll for the people. Should we turn our backs on drill music?
Yeah, drill music has to go still.
Of course.
It ran its race. Let's bring it back.
Listen,
Let me just give the more context to my question. Turning our backs means like nobody promotes it, blogs don't promote it. That's not cool anymore. When somebody sees somebody post a song about smoking their ops, they're like, "Oh, that's dumb." Like who's still on that? Like making it cool.
To me, that's not even music. Like you, Friday, you know me. I just love music, right? And that's why like I like to speak so passionately about this stuff, because I want to see people go very far in their careers. Like I want to see everybody do so good. But this type of music, you cannot do that. You just can't. It don't matter if you're Canada or any other country. You just can't, right? And it doesn't. All it does is just hurt the person doing the music. Making those type of songs, and that's why I don't even consider it music. It's just words on a beat. Like in our interviews a long time ago that we done. Like when's the last time you really heard like a Toronto artist from that's considered to be like a street artist make us like a genuine song, like an actual song, where it's just about one topic, right? And you could play that anywhere. Like perfect example, like a song like Air Force Ones. You know what I'm trying to say? Like
Mhm.
that's a song.
Yeah.
Why Toronto can't do this?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yo, you know what the
good point.
craziest part is, Sonny, though? Fam, I'll say, I'm gonna say drill needs to go, Brody, because I'm gonna say, fam, like, I feel like it's like suicide, fam. I swear to you, like, cause
Well, of course, and
I
it's like I was
I'll be
saying.
right
Probably,
back.
what was that, like 10 minutes ago or
Mhm.
whatever? It's it's one thing to have, like, problems in the streets and whatever. That's always gonna be a thing. But then once you start putting it so directly in the music, it just
yeah,
it amplifies it, right? And
broski,
like
when I realized it was Marsh, fam, when I just said, like, fam, I just realized, like, yo, the agenda of being a drill artist is just to snitch on yourself. Like, I'm like,
of
yo,
course.
that's plug. That's not it still. And then
And then look,
honestly, being a drill artist, fam, from what I'm seeing over the last 10 years of this whole run, fam, Lil Durk was the longest lasting. He was the longest standing
when they
drill
were like him and Chief Keef and them were like,
him
it's
and
like the
Chief Keef,
originators of it,
but
right? And
broski,
now they're done.
fam, you'll see Chief Keef in interview saying, "Thank God I left Chicago. I would have been like, you know what I'm saying." So my thing is like, and I realized, broski,
And then look what
fam,
happened to the other one. Look what happened to Dirk.
I haven't seen no drill artist in like the Hall of Fame. Like like I don't see
No.
them ending and saying, "Holy, I had a good career." It's just it ends in dead or jail, fam. It's like this is what is.
No, and then even remember back in the days, like, when a rapper was to like die or get killed, it was like the biggest thing. Like, look at
Yeah,
Biggie and Tupac, right? Like the reason I feel like they're also held to such, like, like a high status is because that, like, a rapper getting killed was like unheard of back then.
uh,
Now it's like
that's
how many a week?
uh,
How many a
Yeah.
week?
fucks.
Yeah. Yeah. So the consensus is drill needs to go.
Of course.
That's crazy, man. Because there's a lot of people who are making some drill music like in the studio as we speak. They're like 2025, we're gonna take over with this drill music.
Yeah, but remember, if you're good at music, you can easily go. You don't from drill, you can go hip hop. You're good, like
Yeah. If you're really
But
serious
let's
about
be
music,
real, like
you can do anything. You can jump on any type of beat.
but let's be real. Like even in major markets, like drill is not keeping the food on the table like that. Like other music is selling too, like in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop is still running. Lil Baby, how many artists are making hip hop music that's not drill? Like you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
many.
Yeah, Lil
So
Baby
many.
might be a little bit of a bad example because he's kind of on a downslide. I think hip hop
No,
in a
no,
whole is
but
going
I'm
down.
just saying, like there are artists on the mainstream level that haven't made one drill song. Like
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy because other genres are starting to get more attention than hip hop. Goncept said earlier how hip hop took a hit in its 50th anniversary, and it wasn't the most popular music anymore. So maybe some of these guys might want to start
Well, I
switching and
think
start
that's
doing some
because
other
like
shit.
actual hip hop, like, it stopped. You can't consider drum music hip hop.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
That's not hip hop. Let's be honest. That's not even rap music. That's just its own. That's its own thing.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
just its own thing, and it needs to stop.
yeah. Listen, man, I really think that this conversation that we all had over here was super important too. I don't know if you guys see the time. We're at 2 hours right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really thought that it was important to have this conversation, and salute to Lil Six also for bringing this together. I want to give you the credit for bringing this together because, bro, I don't know if you seen my stream yesterday. I was losing it. I went nuclear.
Nah, come on, broski. I love the city. I love the scene. I just want to see this shit grow, And I'm just trying to do
Yeah.
my part in my ends first to kind of like, because I'm always trying to tell the man, I'm like, yo, let's go about doing things like this so we can really bust past Jane and Finch, you know what I'm saying? So we can really, you know what I'm saying, really do things the right way. We don't really just want that 15 seconds of fame. You know what I'm saying? That's why when we even had that conversation, I was just really saying, fam, I think that the young generation thinks this is the only way to make it. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why these conversations, we need to have them so we can all be on the same page. Because I believe if we're not on the same, you see, like us three in this conversation, fam, I know both of you guys. You know what I'm saying? You guys are both guys with experience out here. You guys both have your feet on earth in Toronto in the urban scene. So I always call you guys and reason with you guys. You know what I'm saying? And we all pretty much think the same thing, but it's a matter of okay, us three understand this, but can we spread the message and let it be known that, yo, I don't think this is going no more. We might have to switch it up, and you know what I'm saying. I don't think Amiri's in no more. We might have to switch it up and start wearing.
But yo,
Right?
six, do
Yo,
like, cause you talk to a lot of the younger people. I don't, but like,
yeah,
do they want to make other music or not?
yo, you know what it is, fam? They
Do they
think
want to?
so. Right now, you got to remember something, broski. So I'm like the brink of Gen Z, and
Yeah,
like I'm the brink of the youngins and the OGs. So
Mm.
basically, their mindset right now is they think they only go based off they're visual learners, fam. So
yeah.
we can preach all of this, all this, but if someone pops up tomorrow with a Rolls Royce and an AP and all he's rapping about murder, ass, and drugs on the track tomorrow, that's what they're gonna do because they can see that's what's working.
Of
Yeah.
course, of course, of
If
course.
they don't say, broski, if we all pop up tomorrow and say we're all doctors and we have mansions and APs and things, they're all gonna want to be doctors, fam.
Of course.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's
Or
just a
not even
matter.
just that. Like if somebody blows up out of Toronto
Mhm.
that's from the hood, but they're
Yeah.
not rapping about smoking on the ops, and they pull up with the AP and the Bentley, you're gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna do what he's doing.
Exactly, and the reality of it.
But that's the crazy thing. Everybody who blew up in Toronto isn't talking about that stuff.
That's what I'm saying. So another thing,
Facts.
no, but you know what?
Let's be,
It gets crazy because they sometimes the young generation, fam, that are really in the urban, like out here and shit, they feel like they don't, like, for example, it's hard for them to look at a guy like Weekend and say, oh, Weekend made a singer, I can't, because they don't really feel like they don't really resonate with him in the sense where it's like, okay, they feel like he maybe grew up in Ottawa, his upbringing was different to me, so that's why they're gonna look at kids like D Thing. They're gonna look at the Chicago scene because they feel like, oh yeah, they grew up poor, they grew up in a hood, they grew up in segregated housing, they grew up in a proximity where it's low income. Oh, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like we're the examples out here. We gotta lean on people that are in positions like financially and situational, whether it's in labels or whether it's guys that are on to say like, yo, you have to put things in position as someone on top, or else when you go, Toronto's gonna not matter for another 30 years again. Like you gotta light some candles to make sure that when your flame goes out, this the thing stays lit. You know what I mean? And it's like,
yeah. But for Friday, it's like we talked about in our very first interview. That was probably like 7 years ago now. I don't even know when that was. But like Toronto got too many rappers. Period. Like, where's the behind the scenes people? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
We
Like,
need more
where,
of those.
look, we have so much neighborhoods in Toronto, right? But why does every single guy out that neighborhood need to be a rapper? Like, why can't the one guy that's getting the most money like be the label guy? You know, be like one of those ones. You know,
Yeah.
like, you don't have to be the rapper. You could do all the other behind the stuff, behind the scenes stuff that will help build the industry. Instead
Well,
of instead of always trying to chase the states and other places, we can build it here, but nobody's trying to even be the behind the scenes people.
listen, man, I'm trying to be living proof as a retired rapper, now podcast and network runner, owner. Like, the more successful this becomes, maybe more people want to become podcasters, bro. You never know. You never know. I got one more question for you guys before we end this. Where do y'all think Toronto is going for 2025? Are we up, or are we gonna have to work ourselves out the hole?
What, like musically?
Music wise, right? Because we still have a bunch of artists that are not on that stuff. We have a bunch of people who are doing their thing. Toby's been moving around
Of
all over
course,
the state.
I'll say one thing I like. So for like, you see how we seen Smiley and Sad Boy do their little collab.
Yeah, yeah.
So that reminds me of like back in the day stuff. So even though it's two people within hip hop, it's still different genres within hip hop, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then they came together and collab. That's cool. We need to see more stuff like that.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yeah. What more do we need to see even to get Toronto back to like that prominent level where people are like looking for talent from Toronto?
I think like this is just more. I don't know if it's like a personal opinion of mine, but like even like like the songs just need to become more musical, and even like people. This is one thing. If you can't sing, don't try to sing. Just get a singer on your hook. Just
Big
get the
fact.
singer. Just find someone to sing. It's gonna sound much better. And that's what I think.
Yeah.
Just do like more cross collaborations within music, and this doesn't mean go collaborating with your ops and stuff. Like, it's just find other people within like music industry and just do collab.
Yeah. Yeah. What are your thoughts, Six?
Yeah, similar to what Sonny said still, but my thing is just so Toronto, the scene is gonna be dictated off based off who we have as the front runners of it. And I've been saying this for years. Like, if we have people that maybe have clout but aren't that sonically good as the front runners, and their image is not the best, it's not gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be promising. But if we champion the right people, and like we don't champion gimmicks, we'll, you know what I'm saying, we'll always have hope. But it's just a matter of, are we gonna put the right people to the forefront?
And I think
well
a lot
said.
of I think a lot of people that we see rapping in Toronto, they're like scared to almost have like a character or something, like they um you know what I'm trying to say, like back in the day, like each rapper, like they had their own, what I'm talking about, right?
Personalities.
Yeah,
They-
like their person, yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of like superheroes. Like DMX was one kind of superhero,
Yeah,
who's
he
the
was his
dog
own guy.
man. You know what I'm
Ludacris
saying?
was his own guy. Like Memphis, like,
Yeah.
and that's a reason. Like, I don't know if you remember the video game, like Def Jam Fight for New York.
Of course.
There's a reason you were able to have even video games like that. Like I don't
Yeah,
even
everybody
think you
was
could do that.
different.
I don't think you could do that even with the mainstream rappers nowadays.
You could have made action figures out of some of the rappers back in the days and have like detachable things, like if you wanted to, because everybody was their own character, for lack
Even
of a
a guy
better term.
like Snoop Dogg, he's not the greatest rapper, but he's just a great character. People pay more just to have his voice on the track than what.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's
He
a
doesn't
fact.
really say much, like, he doesn't say much, but it's that voice. He became iconic.
Yeah. Yo, listen, guys. I'm thinking I'm gonna end it there.
Yeah.
I want to thank you guys. Thank Lil Six once again, aka Fourth Quarter T. Everybody go plug your Instagrams and plug anywhere where you all want people to find you and stuff. Let's start with you, Sonny Visuals.
Yeah, just Instagram at Sonny Visual, SONNYVISUAL.
And Lil Six.
Yo, you can find me IG, Twitter, Fourth Quarter T, 4TH, quarter T. I don't know if you can spell quarter. If you can't, fuck, I'm sorry. But
yeah. If you can't, then we got
no,
problems.
shout out Sonny, shout out We Love Hip Hop, shout out Friday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Family of the city. You know what I'm saying? He's always extending his doors to the people with their feet on earth. You know what I'm saying? We gotta cherish our brother. You know what I'm saying? We gotta give him the keys. Man, let him report. Let him report, bro. Stop getting mad when he puts out the list. Let him report, bro. Let him cook.
Please just make better music. I want to see everybody go far. I really want to see people go far. Just make better music.
All right, brothers. I'm gonna tap in with y'all just now.
You already know, man. Them love.
Okay.
Don't know. Salute to the man, then, man. Hold on. Let me give him a round of applause. Good job, guys. Salute to everybody else who popped in. Director X, XMM, SN. Sorry, I keep on tongue twisting that. SXM, Goncept, Trish. There's people who I'm forgetting. Brown Guy Made It also popped up. There was a lot of people in this panel here. And salute to everybody in the comment gang. I just thought it was necessary, rather than me jumping on these lives and screaming on the top of my lungs and, doing whatever I regularly do. Maybe get a couple of people in and have a conversation and have a panel and maybe find some solutions. So salute to everybody in the comment gang. We'll be back for the next live in the next few days. We are off of this. Deuces.